Hello and welcome to the JMShearer show where stupid people speak. And yeah, I still have whatever the hell it is I had last week. And I gotta say, this whatever the hell it is damn persistent. Don't know what else to call it because I'm not sure what exactly it is I have. Been taking stuff for it, but it doesn't seem to help as much, or doesn't seem to help much. Yeah, towards the end of last week, I had a kind of a big thing on the back of my neck. Don't know if it's gonna show up on the camera there because I think it's mostly healed, and I don't know if it showed up on the camera there very much, but I'll have to look and see if it did after and I get a chance here later. But so that's what's been slowing me down the last couple of weeks. And looks like I had some viewers last week. Somebody was actually watching live last week, and I appreciate that. I'm sorry I didn't quite make it back when I thought I would, but I've got this whatever the hell it is, and then I was busy with my parents today too. But it's good that I can actually get a chance to talk with them the way I do. I rather appreciate my time with them. They're good folks, and I like you know I like that I can still talk to them and do all that stuff with them. And I think part of the reason I'm having such trouble getting over whatever the hell it is I've got, is that well, I don't necessarily want to say they're that I come from an intense or whatever kind of term you want to use for it. For what especially my dad's side of the family is. But a lot of us on the, especially the shearer part of my family, well, we're the kind of people that always seem to be doing things whether or not it's good for us, and this tendency to not sit down when maybe we should is kind of what gets the better of us. And it's kind of taken a toll on me because whatever I've got, I have had for like 2 weeks anyway, going on 3 now. And I've had this a couple of times, bad enough where it actually fucked up the hearing in my right ear, and I don't think it ever quite came back the way it used to, or the way it was. Um, but that's actually kind of another thing that I guess with this, I don't know, this busyness, I guess that, I come from, also has some peculiar luck. Because one thing that was, going on, this last week, my grandmother had her car stolen. People have been, telling her for, on and off for, well, I'm gonna say 30 years here, because it's been minimum that. That it's not a particularly good idea to leave your car unlocked with a set of keys in the glove compartment. But that's what she's been doing, and you know, as luck would have it, she wound up finally getting her car stolen. And then this was Thursday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, something like that it happened, and which is an unfortunate thing, but the peculiar luck in all of this comes in. the police happened to find her car intact with, pretty much everything that she'd left in the car there was, still there. Only thing the thieves really cleaned out was the glove box. But what happened was, this was like, just a bunch of, like, group of kids that, decided they'd work her car and, went joyriding, took it to Walmart and tried to hork, like beer and food and stuff like that out of one of the Walmarts here in town, and, got caught doing that. So she got her car back pretty much intact, which, from what I've, been led to believe is, damn good luck, in and of itself. But, what makes this even luckier, from the stories I've heard, this is actually the second time someone has managed to steal a vehicle from this particular grandmother. The last time was 30 years ago. So, at the time, Grandpa Fat might still have been alive. And they're saying, from as I understand it, it might have been him that left the keys in the car unlocked when it got stolen and returned intact. So this is actually the second time in my life that this particular grandparent has had a car stolen and returned intact. And yeah, I gotta say, if I had that kind of luck myself, I'd probably be buying lottery tickets and, like, on to my third or fourth, like, $300 million lottery win, which wouldn't bother me, but that's kind of how that goes. But as far as my own luck goes, I've still got this, whatever the hell it is I have been having for the last couple of weeks. As I'm sure you can probably hear in my voice right now. But um, and then there's the matter of the because there's my day job at the burger joint that I have, and I usually get paid there and at my second or my other job at the real estate office, usually on the same day. Um, but I don't know if my paycheck from the real estate place got mixed in with my neighbor's mail, or they just didn't get their checks just didn't get sent out last week, or what the deal is, because I know there was stuff going on. Because the boss at it's actually not really so much a real estate place as it is a rental agency, or at least as far as I know. Excuse me there. But anyway, the boss at the rental place I'm working, the one day a week, actually had a wedding in Vegas to go to this week, so things might have gotten a little messed up that way too. But I'm gonna have to try to get with my neighbors and see what, see if maybe they got the check there or what, because it's it's probably not going to be a paycheck for maybe $100, but especially in my case, $100 every couple of weeks is actually pretty good sum of money. Something that I could really use. So I'm gonna have to try to see if I can hook up with the neighbors or something, and see if maybe they found it. Yeah, because I know I usually wind up getting a couple of pieces of mail for them every week or so. So maybe that's what happened. But gonna have to get that worked out. But then for other stuff, for just general news stuff as to what's been going on. I guess good old Donnie Boy Trump was kind of in my part of the country, or well, Sioux City, where I'm in Sioux Falls, which is kind of the same place. There's maybe 150 miles, if that, separation. But anyway, Trump was in the area, doing his thing, telling us how he's going to make America, or perhaps more correctly, how he's going to make white America great again. Because from the sounds of things, well, if we're going to be really technically correct, he's going to make rich white America great again. Because if you're even not so well off like me, he's probably not going to make America great again. He's going to try to find ways to stomp us into the ground if we're not rich white male Americans. Uh, but he did have a point when he was, I guess one of the things he was telling, the my neighbors down in Sioux City is that, when it comes time to vote, you need to get out and do it. And I'll give him that. That's one good point he was making there. You should vote when you get the chance, especially on things like this. So even if I don't agree with many of the other things Mr. Trump says, that thing about the voting is a good one. And I think we all want to do that. But as far as the rest of the things that have been going on this week, I've actually just been working away and trying to get over this damn persistent whatever the hell it is I've got. I'm starting to think it might be allergies because it's really lasting longer than colds usually do. But so with that in mind, I think I'm just gonna I'm not gonna wrap up just yet. Because the as the two folks I've got watching right now, if you've been watching the last 2-3 weeks now, I usually talk about, well, last couple of weeks it's been just one story I've read off of DeviantArt, or not DeviantArt, Fur Affinity. Uh, but this week, instead of having it just be one story, it's going to be an author. Let me reach up here and get because this is what I've got here is it's actually a whole big fistful of paper here. That's actually maybe a half dozen stories, uh, or at least 3 or 4 stories anyway, by one particular author, a fellow by the name of Panzergulo, or Coolio. Got it right in front of me, and I didn't say it right. It's Panzergulo is the author's name here. And what I'm going to do here is actually it's a series he's writing on for Affinity called Tales of Borealea. I think I'm actually saying that right. See, what one good thing he does here is he actually puts the title of the story and his author name on there. Don't know if they just trying to. I think that's showing up okay there. I don't really have Cambot to put that on Still Store for me, but anyway, this whole Tales of Borealia thing he does, it's a series that's so I've been following the guy for actually quite a few years, and I've been meaning to try to read some of his stuff. So what he's got is this whole world full of various anthropomorphic animals, that kind of thing. That apparently for a while there was like some sort of war story or something that he was doing, and I guess that got wrapped up, and now I'm coming in because this whole Tales of Borealia thing I'm coming into, I think is like set a few years after the war, because it seems like there's still a lot of military guys running around in a country called New Atlantia, New Atlantis, something like that. But anyway, a lot of the characters in the ones I've been reading so far, um, they're they're working for a slave trader. Let's see if I can find her name here. I guess the main slave trader here is a female hyena named Esme, and she's got her head manservant, male spotted hyena by the name of Goyo. And a lot of these names are pretty much spelled the way you'd think they'd be from the way I'm saying them. At least I hope I'm saying them right. But anyway, it's basically telling the tales of life in this slave trader's office. Uh, Goyo is the is actually Esme's slave, and they're basically going about their trade business. There are other characters here. Like there's a couple that are there's the security guy who was ex-military and then an accountant. The one or the one specific title that I'm going to recommend here to really get to know some of these characters. The title is The Baroness, where basically this Baroness comes in looking to pick up. I guess they're calling it a pleasure, or calling her in this case a pleasure slave to take home and basically serve the Baroness and her husband, a baron. Not quite sure uh, how they got their title in all of this, but basically the plot there is that Esme wants to get the sort of royalty or the high-ranking civilian buying from her so that they can say, yeah, we've got all these we've got this high class person buying from us, and you so that means we've got good service, good quality stock with us, and you want to come come and work with us. And then there's another they're introducing, or he's introducing another it's actually a Wolverine character. The character is the Wolverine species. I forget the guy's, or the it's a male character. I forget his name off the top of my head. I know I've got it in that stack I had in my hand, but he was kind of a rowdy slave, always trying to escape in his younger years, but now he's somebody roughly my age, and he's come to accept his situation. Now that he's basically amongst Esme's um, well, slavery is really not my thing, so I don't really know the exact term to use here. But now that he's in her sphere, or in her well, I know this is a crappy way to put it, especially since I'm talking about sentient being sold as into servitude here. But I do believe the term here would, or I think the best term I've got for this would be herd. But now that this Wolverine fellow is in Esme's herd, for lack of a better term, he's admitted that, yeah, I'm, well, pushing 40, if not 50. I'm really calmed down because I have come to accept my position, and got my leg fucked up in a mining accident, and and after that I learned how to do things like cook and all of that, and like the last one with the the Wolverine guy in there. I read he had was gonna go to work and it's because he's from this other nationality. Bubble look, I think, is what they called it in this particular universe. And he it didn't really like doesn't really like the kind of or the way they make coffee, but he's really good at making it. And the last one I read, he had gone to the market to get some fresh beans to work with, and he was saying, he went to uh, the coffee bean merchant and said, hey, you mind if I smell all of these so I can, see which ones are the best? And he went and explained all of this, and picked up a couple of new customers uh, for the coffee shop or the whatever kind of place that it was he was um, employed at or being made use of at, whatever the correct term there is. But anyway, the author this week on the JMShearer show is Panzergulo. I've been following him for years on Fur Affinity, and for whatever reason, I had not really bothered to read much of his work before the last couple of weeks, and now I kind of really regret not doing that. But I'm gonna recommend that you do, because it's the kind of thing that he's actually got a very good world that he's created. I'd like to think that maybe if I start getting serious about writing again, maybe I'll excuse me, maybe I'll be that good again, one day and be able to actually make something of it. But anyway, at this point, I think I've covered just about everything I want to cover here in my recorded portion of the show. So, I'd like to thank the three or four of you that have come to, listen to me and, see my show and all of that. I really do appreciate it. I actually think it's kind of cool that I've got people watching and listening now. So, anyway, you know, um, I'm gonna wrap up the recorded portion of the show here. Gonna just say, thanks for coming by. The plan, as always, is to be back here next week at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. But the way things have been going lately, that's been closer to 10:30. So anyway, with that in mind, I will see you next Tuesday. Next Tuesday night, sometime around 9:30, 10 o'clock. But anyway, sure thing, Suppy 1978. I'm just gonna stop the recording here, and then I'm gonna go for a little bit longer, like I did last week. Because I usually read off of. I usually check my Facebook and Twitter before I go, but that's gonna be a minute. So anyway, until next week, I'm JMShearer, and I'm an idiot, so you don't have to be. And I'll be with you in a second for the unrecorded portion of the show. So here we go.